I must say, this is an area that my producer, Fumi, insisted that we should talk about today. There's a growing interest in our culture, in pet culture in Nigeria at the moment. Nigeria, it's not just dogs and cats, but there are parrots, there are dogs, there are fishes and monkeys and all of that. And we're getting more and more interested in animals as opposed to just rearing them for consumption. So many other aspects now are coming, to place concerning pets. Large facilities for veterinary hospitals, animal associations, social media pages dedicated to animals and different exotic breeds we only used to see in movies. We see them all around us today. The culture is growing and changing. Now the question is, why are we here? Why the change in the people? The truth is, taking care of pets is not an easy feat.
No, it's not. It's not, yes.
It's not.
And so that's why this morning we have Jackie Idimogu. She's an animal lover, an animal activist, and the president of the Association of My Dog and I. Good morning, Jackie. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, beautiful women, for having me on this show.
You're welcome, and you're beautiful yourself. You're so beautiful, and I love your smile.
Thank you.
Hello, Jackie. How are you today?
Hello.
Okay, I used to have a friend.
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well, thank you.
All right, before the show, I used to have a friend who was big on animals, dogs and cats specifically, Lilian Agbaso, and she did, it was big business for her. And she did a lot of, it was a brand. She was a brand in that area. So I'm not surprised that another lady is taking it up.
Yeah. So, Jackie, let's talk about you. How did you discover your love for animals?
Oh, well, I have always had pets growing up, and I've always had such a soft spot for animals, and growing up in a family of animal lovers, that was what helped nurture, that love and enthusiasm towards being kind to all living creatures. And then I did a little bit of Nollywood myself. And then I decided, why don't I just focus on what I'm very passionate about, which is animals and dogs. And that's how I founded My Dog and I Group.
I heard that word and I held on to it, what you're very passionate about, and
yes.
they always tell us to follow our passion. Yeah. And in this part of the country, when you watch movies, in foreign movies and all of that, you see that the pets are really very, very important. Sometimes they become like a part of the family. Share your experience with us in this terrain since you started this pet business or pet thing.
I mean, when it comes to I'm a dog mom, and I'll tell you, my 4 babies are like humans to me. Yes. No, I mean my 4 babies. That's what we call them in the dog lovers community. We call them 4 babies. Yeah. That's FUR.
Yes. Oh, 4 babies. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 4 babies. Yes. So they are like humans. They're like human babies to me. I call them my sons and my daughters. So the love that you get from owning a pet, from owning a dog, is unconditional, and it can't be compared to anything that humans can give at this point, if I may say so. So that's why the culture is growing, because a lot of people are now beginning to turn to pets for unconditional love, because in a world where humans are no longer entirely reliable, we are relying on our pets for love, for therapy, for companionship, and just someone that will be there when every other person is not there for you.
Interesting. I understand the dogs being for companionship, but I always like we say in local parlance in Nigeria, now person we don't chop belly full will keep a dog, will keep a pet. So, and dogs particularly, I find them to be, I really like them. I don't own one yet. I like them and all of that. But it's expensive to feed them properly, to take them to the vets to ensure that they're okay, to groom them. How do you dedicate time? Because like you rightly said, it's like a child. How do you dedicate time and then find the funds to raise, this 4 babies?
Actually, like you rightfully said, keeping dogs are not cheap. So I always advise people before they get into pet ownership to understand what magnitude of responsibility they are, taking on, because we don't want you to get this dog and start starving the dog or not be able to provide proper care for the dog. But at the same time, might I say that a dog is the only thing that will love you, irrespective of how much you have and what you have to give or not, as long as you have that love. A dog is only looking for the love in your heart. So I don't want to make it look like it's only rich people that should own dogs. But at the same time, as long as you have that compassion, and dedication to your pet, that might just be enough, for the dog.
Okay, so sorry.
Yeah,
So we're
go ahead.
focusing so much on just dogs. So let's extend it to, because like in Nigeria, I don't know about the rest of you. Everybody has something against cats because we all believe that cats have like ill spirits.
And even bunnies.
Oh, and even like rabbits.
Bunny, yes, I'm a bunny mom myself.
Oh, really? Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yes.
So how are you raising the culture of, it's one thing for a lot of people owning dogs, but there's still another divide who are just saying, look, for some people, dog is just meat. For some people, dog is just a dog. And then even for cats, I even feel like cats have it worse in this part of the world. Like, very few people, own cats or like cats even. So how are you creating awareness in the society for people to be animal lovers, especially in this part of the world where we just see animals for food?
Yes. So that's part of the work that my dog and I group has been doing. We did an animal rights work sometime in 2019. We're not able to repeat it in 2020 because of the COVID situation and all. But we have been trying in our own little way by creating a community of animal lovers to spread awareness, to also prove that they are dog lovers here in Nigeria. By that, we have been able to do, my dog and I organizes dog-related events. So we have been doing Lagos Dog Carnival, something that happens every December, and all animals are actually allowed at Lagos Dog Carnival. So that has really increased the pet culture in Nigeria. Last year's edition, we had bunnies, we had snakes, we had monkeys, we had birds, we had cats, yes, and we had dogs walking down the runway. It was a beautiful event. So the message is a continuous process. We are going to keep talking about it. It's not just a dog, it's not just a bunny, it's not just a cat, it's not just a bird. When someone decides to keep a pet, it becomes a family member.
Okay. So loving animals. Ordinarily, animals belong in the bushes. In quotes. Yeah. So at what point do I get? And I would say to myself, all right, I need space in my home and in my heart for animals. Why should I?
I think people get animals for different reasons. Like abroad, there are a lot of support animals for sick people that have particular diseases, maybe those that are blind. There are dogs that aid blind people abroad. There are social service dogs. Then in a world right now where mental well-being is being talked about all the time, everybody's cautious about their mental health. That's why you see the pet culture is increasing, because a lot of people are turning to animals for companionship. Now, if you, as someone that doesn't think you need an animal, were to be exposed to just how loving, how nurturing, how beautiful it can be for something, to love you without asking for anything in return, just something that you can hold on to. Touching a dog is calming, it's good for you, it helps. It improves your health, your brain activities. It has been proven, So I always encourage people to not just close their hearts to it. Don't be scared of them. Even if you don't like them, just be open-minded and see if it touches you somewhere.
Okay.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I don't know about cats too.
Very interesting. I don't know about cats too.
So both of you, no animals, no pets?
No,
Not at all.
I don't. I like to own a dog, but maybe not a cat. And then for me, when you talked about the dog carnival that you have in Lagos, and you say snakes were brought there, like reptiles. How do you make a reptile a pet? Because dogs I can relate with, but how do reptiles? How are you able to communicate with reptile? You know, a dog will know its owner. It will come to you. It will communicate, and in its own animal way.
Yes.
But with a reptile, how does that work?
Okay, so what I have come to learn over the years, knowing about animals, is that every animal reacts to love. There's no animal, even a lion. I'm sure you've seen videos of where lions are being petted now. They're petting lions and treating them like babies. Every animal responds to love. So for the snake being at Lagos Dog Carnival, we use it as a way to sensitize the public, to let them understand that not all snakes bite. There are pythons that are actually safe for you to touch, and these animals shouldn't be killed upon sight. You have to try to protect and preserve them as much as possible. So not everybody can own snakes, but we allow snakes to come to Lagos Dog Carnival so that, people can understand that they are not something to be necessarily feared, the way we fear them, on this side of the world.
Okay, I'm going on where I think we need to take a break.
Okay, wait, so let's take a break.
We need to take a break at this point because I'm trying to bring this home. This is a family show. I'm trying to bring the pet culture more into the family, especially how the kids cope with them. So, if you just hold on, we will take a quick break and return to talk about the growing pet culture in Nigeria. This is Today with John and Helen. Join us again.
Thank you for staying with us. So if you own a pet or you would like to own a pet, I think you should stay with us and just enjoy this conversation because we have an animal enthusiast and an animal activist talking to us this morning. So, Jackie, so before then, how do we ask a question about children?
Yes, because the animal is in the home not only for the adults, but also for the children. I remember my son, he's the one who's always asked for a pet. And I said to him I don't know a lot about it, but just to dissuade him, I always said to him, how much money do you have? Can you feed? Can you give attention to it? Do you know what it takes to keep a pet in the house? And, I've just kept that away. But my worry or my concern is a lot of children have allergies. They have, there's some health issues in the family. And some of these animals also, wrongly or whether I'm correct or not, some of us associate some of these sicknesses to the pets, the cats, the dogs, and all of that. Please, how true is this, and how do we manage it?
Studies have shown that animals actually, or pets, are very good for children in helping, cultivate the culture of responsibility. Getting a pet for your child might actually do a lot of good for that child because that will teach the child how to be responsible for the dog or whatever pet it is. And now choosing the kind of pet that will fit your child is very important. So if your child has allergies, like for example, if your child is allergic to dander, which is what comes with dog hair or dog fur, you have to choose a dog or a breed of dog that doesn't have dander, because not all dogs have dander in their fur. Then there are some children that might be allergic to cats. Then you might actually go for bunnies. If your child is allergic to cats, you can go for a bunny. Bunny is a very sweet pet. Or you can go for a breed of dog that has only hair and not fur. The opportunities, the options are limitless. But I think if your child wants a pet, I think you should listen to him or her and just get him one. You see, to make him a better person. We are teaching children to love animals and to be kind to them. And in essence, that way, by extension, they will be kind to nature and the surrounding, because Mother Earth is crying, and we want to catch them young
Okay. All right, for me.
Okay, so for me now, let's talk about legislation for animals. I know to some people this might sound like ridiculous, like why are we legislating animals? So, recent or not so recently, a dog was killed in an estate, and there was a lot of, concerns and buzz in the news. I think we also talked about it, on this channel. So how do we, how will communities like yours ensure that there's some legislation in the country, probably let's even start from the state, to say, okay, how do we get to protect animals? How do people don't get to just shoot animals at random? How do you, catch an animal? If there's something, you see a stray animal, can you take it, keep it somewhere until we find the owner and all of that? How are you moving? How is your community moving to ensure that there's some legislation to protect the animals that you love?
Thank you very much. So in this aspect, I'm happy to let you know that there are actually laws, Nigerian laws, that protect animals.
Oh, fantastic.
But the only problem is that they are not enforced.
Oh, okay.
There are actually laws in Nigeria that protect animals, even cattle, even even edible, the ones that that for food animals. There are laws protecting them already in the Constitution, but they do not enforce them. So what my dog and I group has been trying to do, and is still trying to do, is to make people understand that these animals have rights in Nigeria here, and we are going to fight hard to make sure that these rights are being enforced and their rights are being used, properly. And in terms of stray dogs, the community has been helping, as much as we can, because we are not funded by anybody or any government at the moment, but we try our best to, take out stray dogs and rehome them. We rehome stray dogs to my dog and I, and we are also trying to enlighten people to understand that, you cannot just do anything you want, to dogs, especially with this last case that you mentioned. We are currently fighting. The justice system is on our side. We have been having proceedings at the police station and, going to court to make sure nothing like that happens again. Nobody brings out the gun and, decide they have the right to gun down someone's animal. It is not done. It is not right under the Constitution of Nigeria. Okay. So nobody can be above the law, and that's what we are fighting for. We are still fighting for justice, and we are very hopeful that we'll get it.
All right, we're almost done. The director said we have to go, but something has been knocking, and it's the thing about cats in this environment. It's associated with some evil. In just a minute, can you shed some light on that?
It's a myth. It's a myth. It's a myth. Cats are beautiful animals. They are very social. They are loving, and they cling on to their owners. Although they are not as clingy as dogs, they are more independent than dogs. Because dogs will literally follow you everywhere. They want you to pet them. They want to lick you. Cats are not really like that, but they are wonderful pets. And there's nothing mystical, witchcrafty about cats at all.
Fumi, does that make you happy?
Yeah, it does. What she just said is so true, because when I was growing up, and that's why when we were discussing this earlier, and I was telling someone that when I was growing up, there was a pet culture, and I was saying maybe also because I grew up in Victoria Island. I had a neighbor. I don't know if she's still alive. She had her full house. She had a nursery for cats, and then cats, like you said, they don't, Sandy. So she will lose her cats. Losing her cats would mean that the cats would have left the house, and then she would go from our flat to flat and start asking, "Oh, have you seen Ginger? Have you seen this?" Because those cats, I just feel like cats are, or like dogs that they will stay with you loyal to the end. Cats after a while, you're like, man, you'll be okay, and they just zap. And so they just find their way. But thank you so much, Jackie. Even though I have so many other questions that I'd love to ask you.
Time is out.
Protecting, because I've seen dog owners, talk about their dogs and how sometimes they have to put down the dogs. Maybe they feel like it's going to attack them. But, like my director said, time is out. But thank you so much. I hope you will come again. I look forward to meeting you physically and meeting some of your four babies and your entire community as well. Thank you and well done.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the work you do. All right, so moving on.
Okay, so moving on, we'll take a break for the fitness segment while we have Farah with her guest who will be talking about the pros and cons of
Marriage
of
counseling.
premarital counseling. It's very
All right.
essential.
Okay.
Stay with us.
See you again.